I've been doing what I do now for coming up on 10 years, and this is possibly like one of the greatest flips that I've ever had when it comes to dating. And it's something that honestly is so weird. Um, it's something that I came into maybe like 6 months ago, but it's been like kind of settling and becoming more deep and deep within me. So I always told myself that if I want to be one of the greatest there was in this, that I'd have to be really good at drawing people to me. I'd have to be really charismatic. I'd have to be really good at getting the results I wanted socially. And when you try to control things, when you try to like manipulate things and you try to like put this death grip on it instead of just assuming it's supposed to be there, it has a way of doing the opposite effect. When you try to like, if I like a girl and I'm like trying to keep her there instead of just assuming she's supposed to be there in any form she's supposed to be there. So let's say she leaves, let's say she just takes off, she will come back in another form. Like she's going to be right back there, just in a different form within like maybe a month, 3 months, 4 months. The same thing with friends, the same thing with business, same thing with money. And you have to assume it on a certain level. Now, when I came to this understanding, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, so no matter what I do, the girls are going to be there. You already have so much success when in terms of doing pretty good with girls. I mean, like when, classically doing good with girls, you know, um, girls like sleeping with me. They get attracted to me. So that's the form of success a lot of guys think about. But it came down to where I was just like, it was time and time again where I just didn't like the girls. Like the girls that I was drawing to me, I just didn't like. I did not like their personalities. I didn't like who they were. And I'm like, dude, all these women are legit like just a waste of time. So I was like, well, what's the mind flipped here? Well, I'm like, all right, well, I want to master something. I want to become really good at it. And for me, I was going on a ton of dates. I was hanging out with a bunch of girls. I had like a huge rotation of just different girls I was hanging out with. And it came down to it where I was like, dude, you're burning up so much energy you put into your business and your purpose. Why would you hang out with these girls that you don't even like? They might be attractive, but you don't like them. And so it came down to it where I'm like, well, fuck it. I'm gonna stop doing this for the women, doing this for the abundance, and I'm gonna start doing it for the purpose. Like it came down to it now where I'm like, I don't want to go on dates. I do go on dates on occasion when I'm bored, but even nowadays, it's like it's just a waste of time. If I go on a date with every girl who wants to go on a date with me, I'm spending like so much of my time with girls and people that I don't like. So why don't I stop doing that? Like, why don't I just stop hanging out with these girls? Why don't I just stop having sex with them? Why don't I just like kind of do this for me as opposed to doing it for the women? So I started focusing more on the actual mastery side of this, and that was a huge revelation for me. Um, Now it's come down to where I'm kind of playing this whole thing like a scientist. I'm trying to figure things out because I want to know how people work. So, for example, um, I had some girl that, well, maybe I get like a response that I commonly get from a girl, and maybe it's a response that I just don't like. So if I don't like the response, I just don't reply. I just leave her be. I legit started doing this with quite a few of the people that are around me, like the girls. And what was really funny was a good portion of them started chasing me super hard. And it was like girls and people, they sense when you don't take them too seriously, when they're not the one of value in the relation. Like people have this like kind of a frame battle, and it comes down to where I just don't care. Like I don't need a relationship. I don't need a girlfriend. I like being single so much. Why do I need you? If it's not from you, it's gonna be from somebody else. I get relationships from one person or the other. I'm a hustler. I work my butt off. I'm smart. I'm intelligent. I'm witty. And why would I devalue myself in that kind of a way? Like I'll tell you guys the truth about something that like I don't think a lot of other dating coaches ever talk about. Um, so a lot of guys will like brag about how many girls they slept with, and it's like honestly, I used to do that when I was younger. It comes from a place of massive insecurity, honestly, like massive insecurity. Anytime I hear a guy start bragging about how many girls he slept with, dude, to be honest, sleeping with as many girls as I did is gross, like legit gross. Like it's not that cool at a certain point. It just kind of gets kind of disgusting, and I don't know, like when you sleep with somebody you don't even like you may have gotten off sexually, but then you're laying next to that person, you're just like, man, I just want this girl to leave. I don't like her. Like if that's the case, then why would I even have sex with her to begin with? So now I start coming from this frame that everything is for my purpose. I'll talk to girls because of game. Like I'm about to go out right now and go practice my social skills. But even then, like, am I going to hang out with any of these girls after tonight? Probably not, ever. Unless they're just so amazingly cool. But that's rare. So I'm going to do this for me. I'm going to do this for the love of learning social skills, of game, of becoming a cooler, funner person, of developing those social skills and that social freedom that I can just do whatever the hell I want. Like, that's beautiful. Like, being charismatic and being somebody that's a lot like a light in somebody's eyes. Like, you guys can see me right now. Like, how animated am I? How charismatic am I? Like, how like authentic is this conversation right now? Like, how many people can have this kind of an authentic conversation with you? Thanks, Michael. I appreciate you. Like, for me, that's what I love about this. Not the women, not the validation I'll get from you guys, not the validation I'll get from the girl, not the validation I'll get from myself, because I am self-validated, but for the love of the mastery itself, the love of the craft. Because I thought for game, you have to put the girls first because that was what game was. Game is the women. But game is not the women. Game is the game. Game is the purpose. Purpose is not women. And when you take the purpose away from the women and you put it onto yourself, you put it onto your craft, things change so drastically. People treat you so differently. And that's just all I wanted to put out there. Like, I felt really authentic, and the idea had really coalesced up to this point, and I figured that I could say it in a good way. So I hope this makes sense. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Please.
Low-key Beethoven, get it? Low-key Beethoven, get it? Let that shit soak it. Let it play it back and forth like it's tennis. I'm screaming no days off. Getting Cobain thoughts, feeling exhausted, but it's okay cause they know A's a boss. You just a fraud that be claiming you cutting cocaine rocks. Your whole gang lost, even these hoes say you soft. Now